America Red Devils, and we are recapping Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. It's a draw at Craven Cottage. Manchester United played well against Arsenal, needed to win coming into this game. Ruben Amorim, big, bold decisions to start the match. He went with Bayındır, backed the Turkish goalkeeper. Shah Dalit Euro, run it back. Great backline, had a good game against Arsenal. Dogu, Bruno, Casemiro, Ahmad comes in for Delo at right wing back. Mount, Mbumo, Cunha, Sesko on the bench once again. First half, sir. What'd you make of that 11 from Ruben Amorim?
I thought the changes made sense. I would have liked to see Benjamin Sesko get his first start for Manchester United, but the Cunha, Mbumo, and Mount front three was very effective against Arsenal last week with the high press coming out, fit and firing. I thought they showed that once again in this game. Ahmad coming in, more attacking intent than Delo. I did like that on paper. Bayındır once again staying in. I thought that was interesting. I thought Onana would have started today, but his passing from Bayındır was good against Arsenal. You didn't see it quite as much today, but I was okay with the changes. Going into the game, sir, I thought we came out of the blocks hot, and had some really good chances early, but if you don't capitalize on it, it's not worth nothing.
Yeah, Cunha had two great opportunities, hit the post, and then there was that great ball from Bayındır. You got to shout him out because it basically went back to Cunha. He got in behind Fulham. Great save from the Fulham keeper. I did feel like Bayındır had two solid saves, but it's all going to be about the Bruno Fernandes VAR intervenes in a set piece. Mount gets ragdolled. VAR's calling that a pen. Bruno steps up to the spot. Chris Kavanagh bumps him apparently. Bruno loses his head, restarts the routine, and then skies the penalty in a manner that we have never seen really from our captain. That was like something if you or me took a penalty. Surprising, but it was still 0-0 coming to half. But that VAR moment probably is going to be what everyone's going to be talking about online. I don't like VAR getting involved in set piece fouls just from the replay perspective. Once you start opening that can of worms, it gets bad. You felt it was a stone cold pen. And then what do you make of Bruno skying it here?
No, it's very uncharacteristic of Bruno. Bruno has a lot of strengths and a lot of weaknesses, and the one thing that's undoubtedly a strength is his consistency with scoring penalties. I think he's got like a 95% success rate, one of the best. So to see him miss it in that manner, I've never seen him miss the net entirely. But he allowed himself to be rattled by Chris Kavanagh. I would not put it past Chris Kavanagh doing that on purpose. But the fact is, at the end of the day, you have to keep your cool. You're the United captain. You're our best player on the team. And the fact that he was rattled that easily, I think it bled into the team for the rest of that half, because after we did miss the penalty, Fulham were coming at us at the end of the first half. It was really kind of just a hold-on moment. We had so many corners that we looked completely shook with. Bayındır fell down like 3 or 4 times when we were defending corners in that first half. So it was nervy stuff. And then the second half, we couldn't really kind of get our grip on things. They brought in Delo. I thought that was effective at first, but we couldn't really get Sesko involved. I couldn't feel like we got any of our super dangerous attack players. And Mbuma and Cunha, they didn't have as much of an impact as last week. And then we could see a goal the way we did and the way we have so many times over the last couple of years, which is just kind of checked off defending.
No, exactly. And so second half, the big move from the manager was to stick with the team. That kind of faded in the first half. Then he didn't trust him, so he subbed right away Delo on Amadov. I thought Delo looked really good coming on. Sesko comes on for Casemiro. Mount moved back into the 2, which is basically how we would finish the game. Ugarte would then come on for Mount. We got the goal. The manager made the correct decision, the right sub. It was an own goal from a set piece. We'll take that. And then conceding the way we did. Smith Rowe gets the goal, but again, it was Delo trying to do a turn, turns it over in a dangerous area. United were under pressure. And then I think Shaw wasn't marking on the back post, switched off. Fulham would then push into the game. United would get some chances late, but it would end 1-1. Look, it's a little deflating. United, you can't really say we played as well as we did against Arsenal. I feel like Arsenal, the result went against us, but the performance was incredible. We were the team pushing Arsenal back, obviously at home. A little adversity against Fulham. I feel like it was hard to recover from the VAR call and missed pen. Then we get the own goal, but then the sloppy defending. We're not scoring enough for how many goals were given away, and you're seeing it already hurt this team. Probably should have got a goal against Arsenal, got a draw there. Probably should have scored that penalty, got a win here. So what should be 4 points is actually 1 point. United performing well, but not getting the results.
No, we're not. And we're not converting our chances, not creating enough chances, and still showing that inconsistency in terms of just like level of effort. The press was not kind of full gas that we would see for large parts of the last game. We saw it early, 15, 20 minutes, and then as soon as we stepped back, Fulham grew into the game. We played well enough to get a draw. Last week, I think we played better than we ended up getting in terms of 0 points. This week, we let Fulham come into the game, but they out-possessioned us, they outshot us, and
XG as well, and we had the penalty. So,
it's not good.
Looking at the final stat sheet, United 48% of the ball to their 52, 1.83 XG, and Fulham didn't have a pen. That's all from open play. So that's really United conceding that much XG. United 1.63, but if you normalize it for the pen, which was a VAR call, you're probably looking at less than 1. Fulham dominating United. So when you look at the Arsenal stat sheet, Arsenal dominating Arsenal, and then coming here and sort of wet noodling against Fulham. But, the attack was there. Cunha looks great. Euro looks great. With a team that's turning it around, you got to look at the positives, and I feel like we're going to figure out the attack. But this was a step back for Manchester United. People are going to cook Bruno Fernandes for this big penalty drama. People are going to cook this team for not showing resolve. Fulham away. It's their opening day. They're always going to be up for it. It was going to be harder than probably most Manchester United fans thought. We got to consider that. And this team has to go again because we got Grimsby Town and Burnley. These are 2 games we got to win. And then you're getting into the real tough fixtures. United have with Chelsea, City. It turns around real quick where we got City, Chelsea, Brentford. You get Sunderland, Scousers, Brighton, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham. That's a gauntlet there. You're only looking at Burnley, Sunderland, and Grimsby really being like games that we could look for like serious wins, and everything else is going to be like a fight for a knife in the mud. This is a tough schedule, and United really got to turn it around. It's not the best start from a points perspective, but there's lots of signs of hope.
No, we have to keep doing what we have seen encouraging things for. Certain players are already stepping up into their moment. Second season, Euro and Dogu having a real impact. They're looking like the shining 2 stars of the first couple games of this season, and the attack will gel over time. The midfield is still a big question. The goalkeeping is still a vulnerability. I think we showed that today. We're lucky we actually didn't get taken advantage of that today. Bayindir had a pretty good game from a shot-saving perspective. He had a big foot stop early in that first half that I think kept United on the ball. But I'm telling you, we were lucky to not concede a goal from a corner in that first half. Rewatch the tape. It was
very
incredible.
lucky.
He was fucking falling
We
over.
got better at corners.
We did.
The game.
We did. We definitely did.
Yeah.
But it's still a vulnerability, and the 6 is still a vulnerability because Casemiro, it didn't work out. They tried to play Mason Mount and Bruno. We couldn't get onto the ball. Didn't work out. Ugarte came on. Didn't work out. So that is a position that you think that they're going to try to address. We are addressing for the chat the goalkeeping position in terms of a number 2, Sen Lemens, this young Belgian keeper from Royal Antwerp. He seems to be coming to Manchester United, picking up steam. That still leaves 6 as an open question because you can't run it back with Ugarte and Casemiro all season.
No.
They might try.
You need somebody like United are flirting with like disaster.
15th
you look at the midfield today. It wasn't great, and Cass doesn't have legs, and Mount is exhausted after pressing off the front. He can't come in and do that job. So you're looking at Ugarte. Mainu's not getting any minutes. The midfield is a big hole for United. I like Sen Lemens, but lots of questions. Look, get into the chat. Let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Liking this stream helps it get out to other United fans, helps grows the channel. We really appreciate it. Eric Morales sucks for the draw, but signs are there that we're improving. I'm looking, I'm a glass half empty guy. I look at these first 2 games. I see a lot of positives. I don't see the results, but we were delusional if you thought we were going to be competing for European football. Like, I knew this was a top 10 season, not a top 5 season. A Baleba, maybe a Donnarumma could get you into the top 5, but you'd be behind the curve. It takes you so long to really gel as an attack. It was always going to take longer than most people thought, and I think that's what we're seeing with Manchester United, although the expectations for this club are very high. Fans don't like losing, and, a loss and a draw to start isn't great. Dylan Cole, we're improving. Goalkeeper issues costing us 2 games out of 2. What do you make about the goalkeeper?
Goalkeeper, I think it could have lost us the game. I'm actually shocked that we didn't get punished more because, like I said, Bayindir had a big save. He wasn't the reason we conceded that goal. That was just like lackadaisical defending, which we've seen time and time again from Manchester United. I've seen that goal being conceded time and time again. Someone gives the ball away, defense isn't checked on, given too much space at the edge of the box, and then it's a flick on or some kind of ball that goes through legs. So it's still an issue, but it wasn't even the issue that cost us today because it could have been 0 points and 2 losses in the first opening 2 games. So I think
it almost was. It
could
was
have been easily. They out XG'd us.
And that's where I can dip into the half empty.
This guy's like, you can go all day, baby. You want to go negative? I got you.
I can go half empty. Half empty is
worrisome.
We were surviving for the draw. Like we were.
Large parts of the game we were.
The end, Fulham were there. and they had plenty of space. We were dogged. We were legged. We weren't the fit side. We weren't growing into the game. Fulham were the one. I felt like that first 15 minutes where we looked so great just shot us, and we didn't have anything late, and Fulham were coming on into the game, which is smart. And United, look, we have the dog. We have the jump. We want that, but you can't just go for broke, because I felt like we didn't have anything really in the last 20 minutes. The Maguire header was there, but Fulham were all over us, and we were it was survival defending, legged, dogged, people out of position, dropping deep. United are better than that. Like, we should have been pushing for the win. We should out XG Fulham at the least. That's really the concern for me. You have all those attackers. Sesko was not found. There was no real strategy getting him involved. It was a little... we're behind the eight ball. We're behind the eight ball. We're crammed for the test. We signed all these players late. Still have things to do in the window. Let's hope we can get some more business done and get some key additions, because it's gonna you add the ingredients like to the soup. You still got to let it cook.
Yeah, we're going to be like racing the car while we're still doing tune-ups and changes on it, and that's what it feels like. The attack has a lot of work to do in terms of gelling and knowing how to play together. They showed more threat, maybe just based on the way that we set up against Arsenal and how they came at us, and we were able to get behind them. But today, we looked tired. We looked tired early. We came out of the gate super hot, but we backed off quickly, and I think we were rattled more easily. The physicality of the Fulham side, they really kind of got under United's skin. And now this is a season of endurance and a season of survival.
Survival.
It is. It's going to be survival football.
It's going to be better than last year.
It is,
it's just
but
not
it's still
going to be
frustrating.
like
we're not going to be fourth place.
You can't just sign 3 attackers. Like, you look at this team, watch them last year. You can't just only invest in the attack and be like, that's going to solve all of our problems. That's delusional. It was the wrong tactic.
We want to solve one problem.
It's the red meat
it's too
bullshit.
early to say it's too early.
You can't. You can't look at the midfield. You cannot run. You can the Ineos will run this team with this midfield
Attack
all year.
was
that's
a
crazy.
Big problem. Attack was the biggest
2
problem.
attackers, 1 midfielder. Like, that's a better option than I'm saying we still have Ahmad. He's not a right wing back. There's options that could play at 10. You have nothing in the midfield. There's like that's just really crazy to do that, and that's where we are. Getting into the chat, please let us know what you think of the match. Out of 10, I'm going to go. So that was like a 4-8. The way we finished was not good. United have to be better than Fulham. Let us know out of 10 in the chat. What do you got for the match? Also, who your man of the match is. Chris Cardona, we suck. We suck again. I don't know if we quite suck. We faded against Fulham. It's a great performance against Arsenal. Solid start against Fulham. Faded. That's it. So you out of how many 180 minutes, you got 120 really good ones and 60 probably meh. And so I have to say that's better than last year. Last year was 180 minutes of suck.
Last year we would have lost this game.
Yes, you're right.
Don't buy the hype. We are who we thought we are. This team needs time. This team still finished in 15th place last year. This team scored 44 goals in 38 games last year. This team has a lot of things to fix. There were encouraging aspects. It was a little bit of a step back versus the performance versus Arsenal, which was so encouraging because some of the players that had a huge impact in that game didn't have as much influence. And Mbeumo was not involved the same way he was in that Arsenal match where he was so dangerous and threatening, especially linking up with Amad Diallo. So the team needs time. It's going to be brutal. But like you said, expectations have shifted. Can we push for Conference League? I think it depends. Depends if we get a 6 in. But we just need to be patient with this team, which is hard to do. We're all Muppets. We all want this team to succeed and score a lot of goals and win a lot of games. That's the United team we grew up loving watching. And this shit is going to take a while. So just be patient. I know it's easy to say that, but be as patient as you can because we have 3 new attackers. It's going to take a while for the attack to gel. The midfield still has holes in it. Goalie is fucking, the wobbly guy outside the fucking used car dealership. We have a lot of areas we still need to fix. There's a week left in the window, give or take, plus a couple days.
Yeah, the window is save us. You do some late business, sell like Hoyland for 50, shout out Jorge, sell Garnacho for 50, sign a midfielder, sign a keeper.
Yeah.
If we sign a midfielder, anybody, and we get a keeper,
that's a win.
We
that'd be a great window.
I'm looking for 8th place out of this team. I'm looking for a play
Conference
better
League.
football, create more, get the attack gelling, and not be as last season was horrible. We didn't even show up to the games. Just a fan, get Balaba or a real midfield monster, sell Bruno. Interesting. I don't know. Look, the Bruno's going to get it. He brings it on himself sometimes. I like Bruno. He's a great player. He's not as bad as people think, but he does not really, the whole losing his head thing, he has not really improved on that. And that's just something that he has to focus on because it almost adds more pressure to the team. when he does that and he loses his stuff and then he misses the pen and it's all going to be about him and it just sucks. I as a fan, you don't want to see your captain in this type of drama or losing his mind. Josiah, I don't understand bringing on Ugarte, bring on Manu. What do you make? You're a big Manu guy. Ugarte had a horrible game against Arsenal. Why not Manu?
Because at that point, they were leading the game. So you bring in a CDM to hold the line. We obviously conceded soon after. He wasn't involved in that, but I understand the intent. I understand the strategy from a, like on paper perspective, but Kobe Manu has not had, a minute of football? Has he even played any football in the first 2 games? I don't think so.
No, he has not. He has, and is it a drama thing? Is it
they're trying to get him to sign a new contract. We've heard that's been dragging. This great chance from Bindier over the top to Cunha. Couple early chances in the first 15 minutes, but we have to be able to score and you have to be able to keep the pressure on. We kept the pressure on in Arsenal. Not so much here.
Dylan, positive. Shout out to you. Our attack looks like they're desperate for goals, and we haven't seen that in years. I agree. The urgency is there. It did fade. Jack, what Amarim magic? What is actually working in terms of tactics? Fulham was better overall team, especially in the second half. We have no one that's a good 6, and it shows. Sunday ruined. Sunday, I don't know.
I'm not Sunday ruined. Come on, go out there, touch some grass. There's still beauty in the air. Come on. At Manchester United, we didn't lose. We went to fucking England to watch them lose in person to this Fulham side, so it could be worse.
It's what Manchester. I get it, Jack. So it's actually J-check. So what he's trying to get at is Amarim. It worked against Arsenal. It did not necessarily. It worked for 15 minutes against Fulham. It didn't. And then the changes worked for another 15 minutes. So I would say 30 out of 90 worked. Not great, especially with a week's rest. You expect better from this team with a week off. It's not if we played midweek and it's a tough Fulham game. You get it.
Tired.
Yeah, full. We look tired. I don't necessarily rate that. So he does have something a tough comment there, but you got to call it out. Andrew says Spain minus the S, so just pain. Ty, need positive results. 2 weeks and our leading scorer is a Fulham player. Great point, Ty. What do you make of that? 2 weeks in and our leading scorer is a Fulham player with $200 million invested in the attack. That's not great.
Well, we've only scored 1 goal. It's been 2 games, one against a really good side. So it's going to take time to gel. We need to figure out the attack. And guess what?
They should do better.
The attack was the biggest issue last year, and it's still the biggest issue.
They should have won. Who should have won? Manchester United, those 3 players, Mbumo, Cunha, or Sesko should have 1 goal between them. At least
Cunha
by now.
should have a goal by now.
We are behind.
Cunha hit the
where
post.
We should be.
Cunha went close against Arsenal.
He's got to finish. He's got to, Smith Rowe finishes. Look at this guy. He's a bum.
Tap in.
It's
he's a bum. He's a bum.
Exactly. We're going to close it out here. So Josiah says agreed. Mbumo is close. He gets in 1-on-1, and then they'll flow. Right? If he hits in 1, they'll flow. Josiah says it was a 4 out of 10. Josiah also called out Mount, man of the match. Look, it's we got to keep our heads. You want to talk about Bruno Fernandes keeping his head? I think United fans have to keep our head. And last season we lost it.
We did.
It was an Eric Ten Hag run it back. Shouldn't have signed a bunch of players. TBD how they're going to turn out, and it turned into this crazy lose every game in the league, go to the Europa League final, lose that. We lost every United fan lost their head last season. It was rough. We got to keep our heads. We are seeing better football from this team, and the manager's doing well. Let's hold it together. We go again, Grimsby Town. Let's get a dub there, build to Burnley, and then we got some big dogs. We got City, Chelsea, and we step up in big games. So let's hope we can get a win against one of those teams and then create some momentum up the table. Sir, last word. Fulham won, Manchester United won. What do you got?
Don't give up hope yet. It's the second game of the season. This team is going to need time to get things right. Let's give them time. Let's stick together. Manchester United against the world. Let's not do the infighting. That shit is exhausting. Let's give this team time. These are the players we got. No one's perfect. I think this team's got a lot of goals in them. We're going to do better than last year. It's not going to be where we want. We're not going to be pushing the top 4, but we are going to be better than last year. Let's just give it time and let's fucking endure this first wave of games, right? Fulham, always a tough challenge going out of London. They're a much better team than they were a decade ago. Grimsby, Burnley. They got to be 2 dubs. And if we don't start scoring goals, then we have to ask questions.
On to Grimsby. Thanks for joining the live stream. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it.